last time we left off.
Yes.
I don't remember what you guys were up to, but
So, last we left off, because I did not continue on individually with anybody, as I recall. Last we left off... Sorry, I'm making sure I've got a few things done on an NPC sheet, so I have shit written down. Last we left off, you guys had completed the initial assessment shit. Basically, the make sure you didn't lie on your resume portion of the day. Now, you guys are moving on to the final portion of shit. The final portion of shit is where you get introduced to a squad, and where you get introduced to the officer that's going to be commanding you. And then you find yourself having to do, well, combat training stuff.
wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Totally.
Very exciting. They want to make sure you can shoot people. So, you will get shuffled into a group of recruits, effectively. Initially, everybody's been given, at this point, they've been handed their standard equipment as to what they're going to be running around with for, like, armor and stuff. Blast, you have been handed white paint and told, paint your goddamn armor. And you are also given a logo to slap on the shoulder pieces. Because their color scheme is black and white for their security forces. As I've now, like, this is generally speaking what their armor looks like. For those interested.
He'd just ask if they'd be opposed to him reversing that color scheme.
Yes. They're like, you're
because his
painting
armor
on...
is primarily black.
And they're like, congratulations, have some extra paint. Either take assigned armor or paint your current armor. Those are your options.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
They don't care. You signed a contract, this is part of it. If you leave the company, they'll give you new paint to be able to, change it out again. That they have, effectively, a dress code. If you were salesmen, you'd be wearing suits. As security, you're wearing black and white armor.
Does anyone go into battle wearing a business suit?
I mean, technically the managers would, but they don't take to the field if they can help it.
Smart.
It's like, I'm not opposed to wearing black and white. I just was asking if I could be primarily black and not all white.
Oh yeah, they understood the question, and the answer is still no.
Fine.
They do not care. You're like, but I just, and they're like, no. So you signed a contract. This is part of your contract. Do it. It's like, fine.
Pretty much.
So as you guys are getting shuffled in, there actually will be a manager on hand that will kind of direct you, or manager. There's going to be a manager on hand. There's going to be a woman next to her, and they're talking quietly as the general recruiting staff actually start getting you guys arranged into proper ranks.
They didn't give us any weapons or anything?
Well, you should have a standard issue weapon, yes. You've been handed an assault rifle that has been modified for your size.
Okay.
Well, it is a solid projectile weapon, which I do not believe you have training in.
Nope. Not at all.
Yeah, well, they're gonna make you learn.
I'm not opposed to learning.
Because, well, we're about to have a conversation. as I'm trying to find a picture for the manager real quick. So, as for how they end up arranging you guys, because I probably won't pick up a picture for the manager right now, because they're not really going to be important right at this second. Basically, the way they have it set up is frontline troops on the front row, heavy troops directly behind them, medical staff will be third line, and then support staff behind that. And Blast, you're told to stand up front.
He's like, no, that's fair. Though I technically
Can I
could
wrestle them to
qualify.
death?
Though I
with
could
my
technically
gun?
qualify as heavy as well.
They qualify you as frontline and wrestle them to get death with your gun. I'm not. What do we mean by that, Matt?
You get close, and instead of shooting them, you beat them into submission with your gun.
Sounds like an organ tactic to me.
You know, that just sounds like riot control.
But Blast just goes, that's what I have the claw for, pointing to the halberd claw on the end of his laser.
You know what? Technically, you are frontline and heavy because you're a 2x2, and you both fit in the front line and in the heavy line at the same time.
The recruiters are less than amused with the pushback as to where they're putting you, as they're just go into the goddamn line. No one was asking your opinion, recruit.
Mm?
That summarizes the recruiters at the moment, because you're starting to get the impression that there are less recruiters this time around and more drill sergeants. So, as you guys are getting put into the various ranks, this woman, which I will make her profile available to everybody. This woman here approaches the group and goes, "Hello, one and all. I'm Lieutenant Lai Zhao, and I will be your commanding officer moving forward." And she kind of looks you all over and she goes, "So, you have passed the initial process and training process. Processing and initial training. What that means is that we have now proven that you are not lying on your resume. You are not wholly incompetent, and that you are willing to actually work towards the goals you want to be working towards. Now, my task in all of this is much more simple. I'm going to make sure all of you are going to be soldiers. I'm going to make sure that by the time this is over, you can fire a firearm, you can obey orders, you can march in straight lines, you can act with your squad as a team, and, most importantly, that you understand what Doomco rules and regulations for the armed forces that we command are. Because at the end of the day, more than almost anybody except the salespeople, we are the face of Doomco. And we're not going to embarrass Doomco. Do you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there will be a chorus of yes ma'ams from the rest of the group. And she'll actually stop in front of Blast as she's looking at him, waiting for the agreement.
But Blast has gone to full military standing because she said, okay, we're going military now. So his response isn't to speak, it's to salute.
That is an acceptable response, actually. As long as there is a response acknowledging it. She will nod, and she'll come back to the middle of the group and be like, "Lovely. Your training will begin today, and we will begin in the simplest of fashions. You've all been assigned your equipment now. Your armor, your firearms, sidearms. None of them should be loaded currently, because I'm not going to trust any of you maggots not to shoot each other in the goddamn back. So, we're going to start with the oldest training practice in the book. Run. And everybody, there's kind of a pause as a few people start looking at each other like, what?
Blast just starts running.
Good man.
She says it, he's gone.
Good man. What about the other two of you?
Is there like a track or something we're on, or just like?
You're in the middle of a hangar.
Blast is starting to run circles.
When in doubt, follow the lead, and go with that.
A few of the other recruits who are a bit quicker catch on to that. Matt?
I can't move my character.
What, really?
No, I
Yeah,
can't either.
neither can I.
Oh, shit. Hold on, let me... You know, I knew I forgot to do something.
I was expecting this to be more theater of the mind anyway, instead of moving tokens. So.
Oh, you don't actually have to move your token or anything.
Yeah.
I just, it's just that moment of, son of a bitch, I thought I had that means I need to update the tokens on the maps. Okay, cool. Matt, I'm going to assume, like, we're going to be keeping most of your old backstory.
Yeah.
Where you were, like, militia and shit. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Militia.
So this is familiar.
Live with the Leon.
Yeah. Well, my point was more, this is very familiar. A officer has told you to run. You've well, shit, guess we're running today.
Yeah, right. I totally am not lying.
She's like, yay, running. Fuck me.
Running involves athletics, so that's a little hard.
Yes. Go ahead and give me some athletic tests, actually, because... Well, I still have those results from last time written down for a reason.
I mean, I did acrobatics that time, so that's a little different.
Oh, yes, but now they're making you fucking run.
I know.
Last time it was just space stat checks, not athletics checks.
Yeah. Slightly different checks, but you basically, so you know how I'm going to be doing this, I'm basically going to be using the original roles as to kind of set a marker for you all.
Good start.
Very good start. So what I'm looking at is basically I'm going to be looking at the original roles you did, and they just have to not be horribly worse. I say, looking at that -4.
I mean, I rolled a single digit on agility. That was a much bigger difference. I don't got much of a.
Yeah, Blast. I think he actually rolled better this time.
Let me double check. No, you did not.
Of course.
Oh, you've been in the military. You know what that means. It means you're going to be running even more. Matt, please roll your athletics.
Amazing. I don't need athletics. I don't have athletics for some reason.
Roll it.
Nice.
You
On the dot.
passed!
Congrats.
Yep.
Cool. So only one of you actually passed. So rather quickly, you find yourselves huffing and puffing as Siva passes you with a cigarette still sticking out the corner of her mouth, just jogging along.
How do you do this?
Blast is like, I understand.
I don't answer because talking can get you out of a rhythm and out of your focus, and that immediately fucks you over if you're not an athlete
Right?
and are already built up.
Bless is just like, I understand running. I don't like running. I march in a direction. That's what I was
You
taught.
more thunder across the
Exactly. He just stomps in a direction and shoots. That's what he was taught.
Oh gosh, there is a very specific gait I kind of see you doing. It's not really much of a run; it's more of a lumber. You're kind of hunched forward a little bit, and just oh god, where have I seen that in the?
Oh,
Where have I seen
where
that in the movies?
I know what you're talking about. Where it's like the Hulk's movements, where it's
Yeah.
it's not quite a run, but it's not quite a lumber. It's sitting somewhere in the middle
Yep. Yep.
where you're almost on the knuckles.
Yep. I entirely agree.
Just
Oonga boonga monkey man, but you're a lizard, so
we also have to play dodgeball with your tail.
Yep.
Does that thing have a mind of its own if you don't think about it?
actually, you know
Yes.
what? Okay, none of the other recruits get knocked over by your tail as dictated by the rolls.
Wow.
Somehow, all of them roll below 50, so congratulations to the other recruits. I did just do that for just the pairs.
They're
The
shoving
only
each
one-
other out of the way of the tail.
There is actually one that Lieutenant Zhao actually stops from running, and that is the other guy that's marked as a medic. And that is because he's appears to be like 90% cybernetic, and the expression on her face is basically, I'm not wasting my time or yours. I'm giving you different work. So he's still training. He's just not doing training that is obviously not going to benefit him.
Mm-hmm.
I've set my legs to autopilot.
Yeah, basically. I've set my legs to auto run. No, you haven't. What? No. Handed clip. Go to the firing range. Okay.
I'll set my my auto soft on. Just
You're turning that
it's
shit
an
right off.
aimbot.
Silco.
Yeah.
While it appears that this guy, honestly, it looks like this guy would be quadriplegic, maybe without the equipment.
Mhm.
You can actually feel through your technomancy. Nah, that's just a fucking robot.
Just a fucking robot. Very
That's
nice.
just a fucking robot. So you get to question why they're among you as a medic? Well, yeah, he's got medic patches.
Well, it's not hard when you got a data bank of information on how to deal with the person. It's very convenient for sure.
Almost certainly. Most certainly. So, as you guys get to the end of the first round, she's going to look over everybody and just... Siva, you get moved off to the side. You see a couple of the others get moved off to the side as she's just like, you, out of line. You, out of line. All right, you guys are moving on to the next part of the training. Looks at Blast and Silco and a handful of others. Another lap.
Silco nods, kind of breathes in.
Just keep
Okay,
running.
gotta get the breathing under control. All right.
Did I tell you to get your breathing under control, or did I tell you to run another lap? Run another lap.
Talking to himself, and he was running when that was happening.
Okay.
That was much closer.
Yes, that is enough for a pass. Please, another one, Blast.
Oh god, here we go.
That's
Better.
enough for a pass. You will not be running a third round.
Oh gosh.
So, with running effectively complete, and those who did the first few laps without dying a little, and managed to tough it through the second time around. Actually, let me roll for the two group sets. Okay, no, she's got a couple people that are
Barely
they're not going to be
standing.
having a good day. They're not going to be having a good day. But regardless, excuse me, you and the team are fine. So, that's good. That's annoying. You guys and the team are fine. It's fine. You guys are sent to do the firing range next, where I'm just going to need a ballistic test from everybody.
Awesome.
You will be asked to turn off any targeting systems for this, as they do want to know what your base skill line is.
So minus
you do
20
not-
for no?
Yeah, but say if you don't have solid projectile training, you get a minus 20.
Nice.
You are going to get special attention, Silco.
Nice.
No.
Need to learn.
As you guys are vaguely putting rounds around the target, she is one of the range masters is basically going to be looking at it and go, well, you kids are going to be firing down this range until you start seeing targets in your fucking sleep. And then you're just gonna be firing down range until you hit something, motherfuckers. Just go ahead and we'll start with, since Johnny got up, Matt, we'll start with you. Just give me a batch of we'll say 5 rolls, as they're trying to beat into your head better firing skills. You do get a plus 10 bonus for normal attack, because it's a standard. And you actually have the weapon training, unlike the other two.
Not particularly helping me.
That's why I said give me 5.
I will be seeing targets in my sleep. It's
You will be
official.
seeing these targets in your sleep.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
You could have sworn that one moved.
It did move.
No,
Yep.
it moved. It had to have moved. There's no way these are still targets.
It's alright. I've eaten all the bad rolls. Everyone go ahead.
Blast.
Okay.
You do not have solid weapon projectile training.
But so it's a minus 20, but plus 10 because standard attack, so only a minus 10.
Yep. Hey, we have a pass. You're still running you through all 5. Well, shit. Look at you. Oh, there it goes. Well, one more. Okay, that's good enough to get you solid weapon training. It's more than good enough to give you solid weapon training.
Okay.
So now you have solid projectile weapon training. Congratulations.
Bless.
Must be
Silco.
nice. Oh,
I
yeah.
understand this beast now.
Silco, they can tell you've never used a gun, period, in your life.
Except for yesterday.
Yeah, no, they can tell. So you're actually going to have a trainer come over and start giving you the basics like you have never touched a firearm ever. Let me make a couple teaching rolls. Give them 3.
One sec. Now it's just talking. We should just go home.
Did you just get up and leave on me?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Oh, at least they're not having Blast try and teach him again.
No.
Even though I was doing really good last time.
You did a very good job. Honestly, they were just trying to see if you would do it. And you did, and they were like, oh, well, shit.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and do a ballistic skill plus 10. Just flat, no other bonuses, and that plus 10 is the attack bonus.
And that's minus my minus 20, so minus 10
Nope,
total.
No minus
Oh,
20, because you do have an instructor running you through things.
Okay, all right. All right, here we go. Good start. Good start.
All right. Go ahead to your next one. We're doing 5 here total.
Allie wants me to help put away groceries. I'm gonna do
Just roll them
another
real
one.
quick.
Boom. Yep. Getting good. Oh, that's not bad.
We have a
I'm
pass.
Return my boyfriend to me. I need him.
I just need him to do 2 more rolls. That's
2
it.
more rolls, and then I'm coming.
I'm gonna have.
Just roll, my friend.
Oh, look
Pass.
at that! What is this?
One more.
My gosh!
That is all 5.
I'll be back.
You okay? He got all 3. All right. All right.
Apparently, his girl is his good luck charm.
Apparently. Silga gets valid projectile training when he gets back. I'm also going to give, because his skill is significantly lower, he's going to get some rolls for getting some extra ballistic. I'm going to give him 2d5. If he's lucky, he'll actually get like a 10 out of that. Who knows? Actually, since doing 2d5, I'll probably do it. I'll do a d5, d5, d5. We'll see how it goes. Matt!
But
They were not particularly happy with your performance.
I don't
They're
give
gonna
a fuck.
They're gonna run you through it one more time. They give
He's
a
the one
fuck.
who knew how to use the gun.
Yeah, you're the only one that had the weapon training at the start of this, and you're the one that failed all of them despite that, and you even have a decent roll. So we both know it's only bad luck on the rolls, but still.
Right.
Best guy, go on. Woohoo.
Give me one more, and one more.
Nope.
They'll call it there. You've shown that you have some skill, and at this point, it's more that you've been staring at the targets for so long that, man, you are starting to see them when you close your eyes. But you thought that was a joke, but apparently not. When you did militia training, they didn't do anything like this. Not this bad, anyway. So, while we're waiting for Johnny to get back, I'm going to move on to the next part of this, which is actually vocational training. Basically, they're going to go, right, we understand that there's certain skills you have and certain things you want to be doing with those skills. That's fine. We are going to take what you said you wanted as your effective vocation for while you're working here, and we are going to train you within that skill set. Siva, for example, you want to be a combat engineer. Great. They're going to start running you through demolitions training. So here's what they're actually going to be running you through as I pull up my GM character sheet thing. Okay, so they're going to be running you through, because you are doing combat engineer. They're going to be training you in tech use. They're going to be training you in demolitions. And they are going to be training you in security.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh, Johnny, you back?
Mm-hmm.
You get, because you passed those last 3, you get solid projectile training.
Nice.
And I'm going to have you roll me a d5 for ballistic skill for each of your degrees of success there. Since you got 3, that's 3d5.
That's pretty good.
Yes, I was saying that as my brain was processing how many successes you actually had.
1, 2, 3.
So
you need to roll 2 more d5.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Gains.
Well, you've basically maxed that out. Congratulations.
Yeah.
14. You add 14 to your ballistic skill.
Mm-hmm.
That's some serious gains.
Gains, son. You're getting swole or something.
This man did not skip gun day.
So
It's
I'm
my
going to start
ambition.
with. I'm going to start with Civis Vocational because I was already going over that. Matt, you are going to be having a other skill that we're going to label as demolitions rather than just using tech use as demolitions like what Dark Heresy usually does. Sound good?
Sure.
So just add to other skills, demolitions. You'll be trained in tech use as well, primarily in the repair of like electronic equipment and stuff.
I have
so
2
you get
check marks in tech use already.
That's good. This will give you the opportunity to get more.
Mm.
So, they also train you in dodge because dodge, motherfucker, and security is the other thing they're going to be training you in
Putting
because they want you to
$200
be
on the
able to,
account.
because they want you to be able to bypass electronic locks if necessary. Or not electronic locks, mechanical locks if necessary. So, here is how we're going to do it. I'm going to roll a training roll for your instructors, and I'm going to see how well they do. One for each.
Not bad.
That
Besides the
97
middle
is
one.
really bad. That's the tech use. You get an instructor on the tech use one that is just checked out.
I feel like I should take over. Or Matt.
Yeah,
Like,
he's.
If he's checked out and I already have 2 check marks in tech use, can I like call him out on it?
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll tech use.
Mm-mm.
You're pretty
Gotta be
sure this
swole.
guy is. You're pretty sure
Nope.
this guy is. I wasn't asking for it from you, Silco.
Oh.
This is vocational training. You have a different vocation.
I see.
Yes. So, Matt,
Mhm.
you can also roll me a scrutiny. Just give you another roll. Yeah, well, you're fairly certain this guy's checked out. You're not positive, but you think so.
Can I record this session?
Certainly. You can
Alright.
always like if you want to record, especially for like review or something later. Yeah, no, 100%.
Can I also submit it to the lieutenant and be like, you know that bit where you say you're not supposed to embarrass? We're not supposed to embarrass Doomco.
It's just yes.
Well, this tech use, this class is embarrassing. How am I supposed to represent Doomco properly if the instructor's checked out?
Well, she'll look it over for a minute and be like, I'll be back. Give me a minute. And she'll actually take your copy of your recording. And the next time you go to class, there's a different instructor. It and seem you got them replaced. That'll give you a reroll on them. Better. So, the way this is going to end up working out, we're going to start with the demolitions. It's going to be an other skill. It's going to be intelligence based, and basically, it is going to be just a general skill for not like grenades or anything, because grenades are just pull a pin throw, but it is rather a skill specifically for dealing with satchel charges, breaching charges, basically general shape charges, things that your normal soldier doesn't get trusted with unless necessary.
Also, the disarming of such,
Exactly.
like IEDs.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So-
Do I have a check mark in it? Otherwise, I'm not I'm rolling 10 or less. If I don't
Well,
have a check mark.
You are going to be rolling with, due to the, let me double check that first
Just
roll.
raw int to start, I guess.
Nope, it's going to be a plus 20 on the int because that's what the instructor's rolls were for.
Okay. Pass.
Okay, that'll get you demolitions flat. Give me another one. I do have an upper cap in mind, which is basically 3 check marks.
Pass.
That'll get you the second check mark, and go ahead and do one more to see if you can get the third check mark.
I'd like to fate point that.
If you'd like.
I would. Yes.
Yep, that'll get you 3 checkpoints into it.
Cool. And then we move to check use.
Yep, this will be tech use. You already have tech use, and the instructor. This one's competent, not excelling, just competent. Definitely knows his work, but you're not expecting the world from him. Go ahead and just give me a normal tech use roll for improvement.
Did he give me any bonuses?
No, it's a flat. This gives you the opportunity of raising it without having the XP, but that's what it does otherwise.
Not this time. Not lucky today.
One more. I'm basically giving you 1 for each possible check mark. Yeah, no. Tech use isn't going anywhere.
You said 3, right?
Oh, yeah,
Well-
1 more then. Yeah.
Not this time. Nope.
No.
Not lucky. It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Next.
Security.
Yep, security. This guy, let me double check his roll, but I believe his was the even better one. Yep. This one is a plus 30 roll.
Couldn't have had that before.
You have security. Next roll.
Yeah.
Plus mark 1. Only 1 extra plus mark. But hey, you got one. You got a. You've got the plus 10 security.
And then you said dodge?
I was gonna have us do a group. Yeah, we'll just run you through it. The last one's dodge. Let me do. Oh, that instructor's on fucking point. I'm just gonna.
Some
That
guy in a
one's gonna be.
tracksuit comes out. Today we teach you how to dodge. I brought sack of wrenches.
He's like, "Good evening, gentlemen. I'm going to be teaching you how to dodge today." Pulls out a handgun. Are you gonna shoot us? Нет. I'm going to shoot at you. Dodge.
This would
What's
be a
the
problem
plus on
with
that
Blast because he'd stand there and let him shoot him.
Yeah, so the plus on this one is going to be a plus 30. The max check mark you can get from it is still 3.
First attempt, he shoots me square in the forehead, and that'll be the.
Well, that is where you find out that these are taser rounds.
Oh, yeah, no, that hurts. Ow! Ow!
Look at you, dancing like the little baby. Shoot you again. Ah! He does not let you leave class early just because you hit your max. Roll me 1 more dodge, please.
Shit!
As he pulls out, he's just like, "Ah, yes, you've all done well so far. Time for automatic weapon." Yeah, so that's fun. Right. Moving
Back
on
to
to
me.
others. Silco. You're being trained as a combat medic. Johnny? You there? You muted?
You said my name,
Johnny?
didn't you?
I did.
Sorry.
Right. So you're in as combat medic.
Mhm.
They're gonna teach you some shit, son.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to look at you and be like, "You have been pathetic so far. We have to correct this."
I'm here for corrections.
Yes. Improvement is what you're here for. More than anything.
Of course.
So, they're going to be teaching you in Medicaid, for one.
I
They're
have 3
going to
checks in
start...
that.
What's that?
I have 3 checks in Medicaid.
Oh, that's right. You already do, don't you? So, when you roll for it, let me see how well this guy's going to be. Nah, that's not going to be good enough. Okay, so at that point, since you already have you have awareness, you have Medicaid. All right, so you know what? Actually, that's right. You got offered the mandatorial track last session, didn't you?
I did.
You were the one that passed the rolls for the right rolls for that.
Got a 1 on fellowship. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so instead of the normal training track, you're going to be sent over to the management training track, and you're going to be walking into. Hold on, I need to write down the name. There we go. Sorry, I had I had to write down the instructor's name real quick so I don't fuck it up when I say it out loud.
Fair enough.
Cool. So, you're going to be brought in to where they have the training program for the mandatorial track. You are informed with no uncertain terms, as you're basically being given the spiel for the management training. Basically, they're going to make you serve on the front lines either way because they want, if you're going to be a manager, and they are bringing you in as a manager for the security side of things, they want you to have served in with security so you know what kind of things you're going to like, what the kind of things security actually deals with. They only do hire from within for management staff on the security side.
Makes sense.
You are going to be put into a relatively small class. There's not a lot of people that get put onto the management track from the start, and a lot of them fail out. So if you do end up doing bad in here, you're not going to get fired or anything, but they will remove you from the supervisor track.
Makes sense.
As you kind of come in, you see you see a tall figure made of what looks like completely of metal. You recognize them as one of the cutters, as you've seen Blast talking to one before.
Right.
This one's a little different from the one he talks to. The one he's been talking to has been... It almost looks like somebody took a stalactite of metal and just shaped it humanoid. And how it's walking around. It's very rough hewn. This one almost looks elegant. It's smoother lines. It's taller too, and all of its limbs are thin to the point of almost being spindly.
Full Silver Surfer.
As you enter in, the body doesn't move, but a feminine voice comes into your head as it goes, "Ah, welcome. Find a seat wherever you please."
Silco will take the front seat.
Most people aren't sitting in the front seat because they're a little intimidated by cutters. Big, tall metal things that, wow, now that you're sitting close, those fingers look sharp.
I'm a little ignorant of the whole cutter situation. I more get into my work, so I know who they are. But I guess it's just I missed that chapter.
Well, those are some sharp-looking fingers. That's good. That's going to be the summary here.
I got some sharp claws too.
Oh yeah. They're just not made of metal.
That's true. That's true.
So, as you kind of sit down, she will kind of sit there still as a couple last stragglers come in before finally speaking. Well, now that everybody's here, I'll introduce myself. I am silent stars gleaming over an endless sea of void and dust, though most people call me Stars. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Likewise, Matt.
You are all here, and this is the full name. There's a reason I wrote that down before trying to fucking say it.
For sure.
She's like, the reason you're all here is you have, in one form or another, shown yourselves to have some possible aptitude as management staff. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be management. I apologize if you were led to believe otherwise. I know some of the new learning students on this path don't always get the full gist of what they're handling on that front. What it means that you have a potential that we are willing to look into, to explore. If you fail out of the management track, don't fret. It is still quite possible for you to end up on the supervisory track. It will just be in a lesser position where you might be assigned a small team lead position. Something more basic, you know? The managerial track is bigger. It puts you on the path to become someone that leads the company in the field and in the boardroom. Which is an important part of things that you will come to understand that is what we're going to learn here. Whether or not you can function in the field and in the boardroom. Because Doomco management needs to do a great many things. So, let's get started, shall we? First, let's start talking about Doomco discrimination laws. And you will find yourself in a very quiet, calm classroom. That's, yeah. I will roll for her. Okay. So, I'm going to be having you roll. You're going to be rolling on command, commerce, logic, and you are also going to be rolling me on common lore. Yeah, you're going to be rolling me on common lore bureaucracy.
Okay, I got that. Easy peasy.
All of these will be on a +20.
Okay, so command first. I don't have any checks in that, so that should negate the first of it. Here we go. Failure. Next one for commerce. I do have this.
Hold on. We are going to be concentrating on things.
Oh, like Matt's was. I got you.
Yep. So, as you seem to be struggling with the command side of things, you notice that some people will talk to stars out loud, And you realize very quickly she is not instructing everybody on the same thing at once. It seems that some people are moving faster than others, and some people are getting concentrated on in certain segments of the training. And she doesn't seem to have any problem splitting her attention between them. As you are aware, she is speaking to all of you psionically, as cutters don't actually have mouths. They only talk psionically.
Is she having a harder time since I have resistant psychic psionics, or
No,
Nice.
not at all.
nice?
She has a great many degrees of unnatural, let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
So, she will actually focus a bit more on you, and she's just going to be like, it seems that you have some difficulties with asserting yourself.
I'm working on it, ma'am.
Have you ever done so in the past? Have you ever found yourself needing to, well, be in charge? Or is this a new experience for you?
I'm more focused on the tech side of being in charge. People usually leave me alone when I'm working, but this is a new experience, new life. So I better
Are you
buckle
sure
up.
Are you sure it's the life you want? You
Yes.
have a choice.
No, this is the life I want.
So you do wish to be in charge.
Yes, ma'am.
It means you're going to be responsible for other people as well.
I understand that
Will-
risk.
What I mean is that you will not have the luxury of simply being left alone.
It's true. Like I said, new life.
Very well. If that's what you feel and you're certain, allow me to give you a few extra pointers.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead and give me another roll. This one's going to be at a plus 40.
Mans. Plus 40 total, or just 20 plus 40?
Plus 40 total. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
16, much better.
Go ahead and give yourself the first check mark.
Excellent.
Boo, 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 boo. What's your fellowship right now?
My fellowship is 23.
Go ahead and roll a d5. I'm going to get a little extra fellowship too.
Now it's 25.
Okay. All right, give me another roll, another 2 rolls on command, because unfortunately this will mean that it'll take away from some of your later rolls, just so you know. You can stop it early if you don't want to take away from later rolls, because this is a limited time thing. You are operating effectively within a time crunch. So you have a choice. You can either have an extra roll on command, or you can have take away from one of your later rolls, which might give you more fellowship.
Okay. So let's just get the other 2 out of the way. Still with the plus 40?
Basically, what I'm saying is, do you want to take away from later rolls to get an extra roll on command to try and improve it further? Okay. Please continue then. Yes, it is still at a plus 40.
Okay. Unfortunate. And here's the last one. Got worse.
She's going to reserve judgment for now. She's going to be like, Next is commerce. Do you have commerce yet?
I do have commerce.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me on commerce. It's going to be 3 rolls.
Okay. Here's the first one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I forgot to give her the... Okay, it was only going to be a plus 10.
I will still add the plus 10 for the next one. There's a 1 on commerce.
Okay, slap 2 check marks into that.
Cool.
As she was kind of going over things, and you were kind of looking at numbers, something kind of clicks in your head as you're like, oh. So that, okay, no, this makes more sense. It's just numbers.
I'm good at
You know?
numbers.
Good at numbers. It's just numbers, and it's good. You're good at numbers. It's not as intimidating as you first thought. Give me your intelligence is already at 40. All right, give me one more.
Okay. With the plus 10 still.
Yeah. What's your commerce at right now?
It's at 3.
All right. You did not roll well enough to get the next one.
It's
The
fair.
last one. So, that's good. Logic was the next one, if I recall correctly. What's your logic at currently?
It's at 1 check mark.
Okay. Go ahead, and you're only getting... Actually, no, we have one more course after that. Yeah. Give me the logic tests, 3 of them. Let me roll to see what bonus she gives you. You'll get a plus 20 to this one.
Plus 20. There's the first one.
Okay. And you're at 1
1
already?
check. Yep.
Okay, give yourself that second check mark.
Alrighty. Next one.
Yep.
Plus 10, right? You said plus 20. You said plus 20.
Yeah, plus 20.
Much better.
That'll get you the last one. You have hit the cap for that training, so she's actually just going to move you along to the next.
Okay.
This is going to be common law bureaucracy.
Just
You
intelligence
have
space for me.
Yep, you have the infused knowledge, which, at least means you're not rolling on negatives.
Correct.
This is going to be more in depth than what you currently know is all at that point.
That's fair. I work off what I know. Go from there.
Yes. So let me make her roll. This one she's very good at. You're going to get a plus 40.
Plus 40. 80% chance. Here we go. Rolls a single digit. Fair enough.
That's 8 degrees. That'll actually get you 2 check marks.
So let me figure out how to spell bureaucracy. Beurec.
So that puts you at trained and then a plus 10.
There we go.
Give me the last 2.
Yep, common. 2. So since I have it now, I get an additional degree of success if I pass.
That's fine.
So 7 degrees of success.
7?
Yep.
You're already at 2 check marks. It'll still only give you the 1.
That's fine.
Mostly because I'm making it more difficult to get that last check mark.
Mhm.
She's going to kind of look at how you're doing the bureaucracy and nod. And she's like, good. We're going to give one more round at asserting yourself then.
Thank you, ma'am.
As you've done well enough, she's going to shift back.
Okay.
So, give me one last roll on command.
One last roll on command. Any bonuses?
Boo, 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 boo. You know what? I'm going to have her re-roll that because she's trying. Wow. She got a whole point higher.
Hey.
It'll be plus 10.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to use my fate point to reroll.
If you like.
Unfortunately, that's just how she rolls.
She's going to be studying you. She's going to be like, all right. So, you clearly have an issue properly asserting yourself, especially in stressful situations. You have a habit of referring back to others whenever you find yourself in a position where a decision needs to be made. So, that is what you're going to be working on moving forward. This will not be the only class that I run, and it will not be the only one that is available in time. But I understand that as a member of security, you're going to be being moved out into the field a little sooner than some of my other students. From here, before we meet next, I want you
Yes.
to start looking into acting underneath your own volition more. I want to see you excel. And I do want you to understand that I'm going to keep tabs on you. I will be asking for regular reports from the mandatorial staff that you are going to be working under in the field. They will be giving me updates on your status and their own opinions on your growth. When you are marked as a mandatorial candidate, you are not simply trained and then left to do on your own. You will be watched, you will be studied, you will be tested, and it will be a constant and never-ending thing, even once you have actually become management. That does not lessen scrutiny, it only increases it. And we will continue to see you grow from where you are now. The next time we meet, and we will meet again in person, as I will be handling all of your training moving forward, as a manager anyway, I want to see improvement. Alright?
Improvement will be my top priority, ma'am.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Now go on, you have other things you need to train on. I believe that they have gotten the Russian out for doing the dodge training today. Or, sorry, battlefield competency training.
Don't die.
Go on.
I know the.
She's like, go on. Do be careful. He likes to shoot sensitive spots with taser rounds.
Duly noted.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be running through dodge training as well. What's your dodge at currently?
My dodge should be at 2 dodge.
Nice. Go ahead and roll me. Let me roll for him. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to use his roll from earlier. What was his roll earlier? 7. That's right. That is a plus 30 on the dodge test. As he's like, as you walk in, you can almost hear the Soviet national anthem in the background. He's just, no meat.
No meat indeed, comrade. Here we go.
Here we go.
Good start.
As you get that extra dodge. Go and roll again.
Did you say I got an extra dodge check mark or?
Yes, an extra dodge check mark.
Alrighty.
Not an actual extra dodge, sorry. Which you were at 2, right?
I was at 2, yep.
Alright, unless you roll a 1, you're not improving.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
You can roll the last roll to see if you hit it, but you're not going anywhere otherwise.
Alright. Nope.
Fishing for a 1, not passing.
Nope. It's as she goes.
Okay, Blast.
Mm-hmm.
You are last man on the list.
Mm-hmm.
You have been marked as a frontline defensive specialist. By frontline defensive specialist, they mean get shot in the face so other people don't.
Yup. Figured.
Unless, of course, you want to pick a different vocation, because that is a possibility. You can request a different one. They do have heavy weapons expert if you wanted to try that instead.
He that would be his request.
And I'm gonna be
It's
like,
his proficiency with tech and his already heavy grade weapon. He's just like, no, I want bigger guns. I want to be a heavy weapons guy.
And they're gonna kind of nod along. And it's just so they're going to look at you and they're gonna be like, okay, so you want to be heavy weapons. First and foremost, so you are aware, you're not in clan space. You're not in collective space. You are now in normal galactic territory. That means there are rules and regulations to when you can use certain weapons. Your thermal lance, for example. If you're not shooting at a dynasty, you're not shooting that at infantry.
I mean, why? It's particularly effective.
Because it is considered inhumane. We
I'm not
don't
human.
fire anti-material weapons at infantry, and it is an agreement that was made a long time ago by
I
a
can
lot of
understand that,
people.
but I'm not human.
We don't care because you're Doomco. In Doomco, you aren't human, you aren't alien, you aren't whatever race you came from. We don't care. You're Doomco. Mr. Johnson has agreed, after the conquest of... sorry, not conquest. After the repossession of a certain planetary body, we have agreed to follow certain rules of war. And, well, that includes not shooting infantry with anti-material weapons. This is not a request. It is not a conversation. If you don't like it, no one's keeping you here.
Mutter, mutter, mutter.
However, that doesn't mean you aren't going to be handed a very large gun that you can use on infantry. We're going to hand you a Rotary Cannon. It is not an anti-material weapon. It, however, does have a very satisfying noise when it fires.
Gun go brrr.
No, gun goes chunka 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 chunk.
Burr chunk.
They're not handing him a minigun.
They're handing me an autocannon.
Basically, yes.
Gun
Still a very large caliber weapon, and it still only fires on full auto. So, you are going to be handed, well, it's a rotary cannon. It chunks out rounds. It is fully automatic. Its automatic is a... let me double check some shit, but I don't think I've finished writing this one down. Yeah. Okay, so the full auto on this thing is 10 rounds, whereas the standard burst is going to be a 5 round.
Mm-hmm.
It is solid projectile. It has a pen of 3.
Can you just put this into chat for me?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
1d10 damage. Pen 3. Type solid. ROF. Does not have a single shot option.
Right at the base of the hill.
It has a single shots option.
Yes, so there is no single shot option on it. You will still be allowed to carry around, of course, a sidearm. You can still carry your thermal lance around, but they're just like, Use it on vehicles or Dynasty. And they are also like, also, if you run into Collective, just don't. We don't need to feed them.
It's just like, I know how to deal with Collective. That is why I have the Halberd attachment.
The Halberd attachment does not help particularly. Because the Halberd attachment is an energy damaging as well.
Only when activated with energy, it's still useful for counteracting their charges, and then you just flip them over and let the guys with melee weapons beat on them.
No, Collective are the giant metal guys, the cutters.
Oh.
Yeah. They're a little harder to deal with.
That just...
And they're like, if you're fighting the cutters, do not use that energy weapon. Do not. There will be certain weapons you can use on them that we will have available. Things like missile launchers. We're gonna give you missile launchers for that.
Sounds like fun.
Also, weapons that could definitely pierce the ship hull, but given that it's that or deal with boarding metal men, well, we have priorities.
Things like that are why my suit has an EnviroSeal.
Oh, good. We were going to ask. And he's like, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. We were going to ask if it had one, and if it didn't, we were going to handle that.
It's just like I have been told through dealings with others that my suit is comparable to Alliance standard military.
Oh, good.
Though this is only a light suit, so that surprises me.
Alliance specializes in mobility. You deal with enough things like cutters and the Dynasty, and agility and mobility is prized over staying power for people that are a quarter of their size and weight. If that.
Weakness.
Is it weakness when they still stand up to them and fight anyway?
No, that's what we call stupidity.
And yet, they're the ones that drove the Collective out of their territory. Respect your opponents, regardless of what they are. It's an important lesson to learn.
Shrugs.
Well, other than that, for you, because you're going with heavy weapons, you are going to be given heavy weapons training because, well, heavy training is going to be what you're going to need. So yours is going to be heavy weapon training. You are going to be going through dodge training, and they do expect you to avoid fire because you can't take everything.
Yet.
You can't tank everything. Period.
Yeah.
Period. There's a very few creatures out there that can tank everything, and anytime you meet one, don't engage, leave. So heavy weapons training, you're going to be trained in dodge. What's your tech use at currently?
My tech use is at 3 ticks.
Alright, they're not going to be training you in that then. They will train you in parry, though, because your weapon skill sucks.
You'd think they'd actually train me in weapon skill, not parry.
Yeah, well, they're going to do both.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. That was I was trying to remember the other thing I had on the list for you, and that was the big thing, is they were actually going to give you weapon skill training. Because they're like, You're frontline combatant that barely knows how to use a knife. We're gonna fix that. Ah, yes, I have a halberd to deal with so many things. Great. Can you hit people with it? Now,
No,
why
they
do you
hit
gotta ask
themselves with
questions
it.
like that? Okay, so first and foremost, let's see how much of the negative he can. Okay, so it'll be a flat ballistic skill to get the heavy weapon training skill. We're just looking for a pass here. If you fail, we'll keep going. If you don't,
Do
I mean,
I get my other bonuses and stuff?
they're having you do this without your targeting system because they want your base skill to increase, not your targeting system to compensate. But you are getting it flat, and then you get the +10 for standard attack.
It is not popping up. What the hell?
Weird.
I will try again and see what happens.
Oh, success. That gives you heavy weapon training.
Okay.
We're not going to keep rolling on that because your ballistic skill's high enough as is.
Fair enough.
They're going to put you into weapon skill training next. You will be getting a +10 for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just gonna start running you through it. Oh, that is sad. Okay, next roll, please. Because they're going to keep going until you.
He's getting worse. They obviously picked a bad instructor for someone his size.
All right. They're going. You know what? Hold on. Okay. After a bit of going through this, they're just like, we need somebody else. Clearly we don't have the. No. All right. After some discussion, they're just like, we're gonna get a specialist in. We think. And then actually the lieutenant's going to kind of walk over and be like, no, we're not. Shoo. And they're like, yes, ma'am. And the lieutenant's going to kind of look at you and be like, right. They were going to try to get a dynasty in here to teach you, but frankly, I don't want to wait for that. We have a deployment within a very set amount of time for the first field actions that the new team's going to be handling. I'm not going to delay that just so one soldier can learn how to use a halberd right. So I'm going to handle this personally. And she's actually going to. She actually carries around a sword, and she's going to exchange that for a halberd like yours. Ready? Because I'm going to hurt you in this training.
Oh, joy.
When I teach you, you will remember it, one way or another. So I'm going to go ahead and see how well she rolls. I'm going to re-roll that because that is amazingly bad. All right. This one will be a +20.
Hey, she could have taken your I'm invincible, I can tank whatever, and be like, well, maybe I'll try my new move on you.
Oh, it could have been much worse. So, you will actually get a 1d5. increase your skill by 1d5. Increases it by 4, and she just kind of watches as you fight, as she starts running you through things, as like, So your expertise is completely within ranged combat, really. You rely on the fact that you are tough to get you through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Her hitting you has actually stung, and she doesn't hold back from it either. And she's just like, I've known a great many young warriors like yourself that do this. They assume because they're tougher, stronger, or faster than, well, really tougher, stronger than an opponent, that they don't do anything else, or even faster, come to think of it. There's plenty of idiots that seem to think that faster means anything if you can. Well, they usually can't hit anything, is their problem. What are you going to do when you find yourself against an opponent who is stronger than you are tough?
You find their weakness.
What if they aren't weaker than you? In any way? What if they are simply your better?
Then get better.
Good answer.
You get better, you make their advantages your own, and you become better than them at what they are skilled at.
That's a good answer. So, what are you going to do until you can get better if your opponent is stronger than you are tough? Are you going to keep trying to slap your face against it? Or are you going to actually try to avoid attacks? Now, you're a little slow on your feet, aren't you?
It comes with the size.
Oh, I've known some very quick, big things, but understandable. All right, I'm going to start teaching you more. Well, rather than trying to get you to avoid every attack, I'm going to try to get you to start blocking them, parrying them, redirecting them. That's the plan. I want to see you excel at it, all right?
He just nods.
And she's going to come in hard on you. And she hurts. She hurts for a tiny woman.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me parry.
Okay, fishing for that one.
Sorry, parry plus 30. We're looking for closest to success we can get. That'll get you training in parry. Go ahead and do another D5 for weapon skill. That is unfortunate. And she's going to keep going through you on the training on parry. So go ahead and give me 2 more parry.
Same bonuses?
Same bonuses. Okay. One more. So you get the next check mark. You will get another 2d5 of weapon skill, but she'll call you passable. She does not call you adequate. She's just accepting that you are good enough for Doomco's standard. Which is not encouraging.
Nope.
She's
This is also why he went heavy weapon training.
yeah. She's like, you're still pathetic. But at the very least, you meet the bare minimum standard now. So the biggest thing that you've noticed while going up against her is sometimes she would move, especially early on when she was still getting a feel for your skill and speed. She seemed to move faster than you expected. Occasionally, you had trouble actually seeing where she was striking in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blast. With that, you got extra time on the weapon skill range because, oh god, please just hit something. You're just going to be shoved straight to dodge at that point. And there's a man in a tracksuit and several people limping out of his range. He's just, yeah, big boy! And let me see. Is he... You'll watch as he actually pulls out a tablet and checks real quick. Ah, yes. You're the one that I was... ah, yes. You are the one that I was warned about. The one that eats electricity, yes?
Sorry, my headset cut out. What?
Oh, he's like, you're the one I was warned about. The one that eats electricity, yes?
Yes.
Great. Because I got a special thing out for you. As he goes underneath it, like over to a cabinet, fishes through it, and comes out with, is that a grenade launcher? And he's like, alright, dodge! And just clunk clunk. That is, at first you think that's a rubber round, and then, oh wait, that's not rubber. That's metal.
Instincts kick in. I don't know. He's either going to try and dodge or bat it back at the dude with his tail.
I mean, do you really want to try to parry with your parry ability, or do you want to try to dodge?
Why not? He'll be stupid. He's acting on instinct here, and that's the last thing hammered into him.
Yeah, alright, go for it.
Oh god, this is gonna be so bad.
Yeah, you try to, and you get nailed in the snout with a fucking it's just a metal slug. That fucking hurt. You're pretty sure your nose is broken. And he's like, "Is dodge training. This is dodge training, not parry."
Right.
Dodge! Shoots again. Roll me a dodge, please. Just roll me dodge, please.
Yeah.
Ow. Roll a dodge
Yup.
again. Ow. Go ahead and get the first check mark, though.
Okay. Roll again.
Yep. Last one. Ow. And he's laughing. He's actively laughing because you're a great target. You know that?
He nods.
You make owl noises and everything. Love it. Get the fuck out. You're shit.
He just wanders off.
But that's it. Right. Well, with that, everybody,
We time to fight.
you guys have arrived at what can basically be said to be the minimal viable product of training.
We deja vu.
Something I've just been in this place before. Adequate is what my name is. Anyway. Right. You guys are all lined up with your new team, and the lieutenant kind of looks you guys over. It's like, you're all still pathetic. But at this point, we're going to mark how pathetic you are as at least pathetic enough that we can see if you'll survive field experience. So, this is, well, we refer to it as field training, but really, you're about to all be deployed as mercenaries, working for, well, the current orders are the Alliance, actually. We're going to be moving over into, well, some of you will know it as Cutter Space, some of you will know it as Collective Space. It depends on where you're from. We're going to be moving you into that territory where you're going to be dealing with, well, according to the instructions that we have from the employer that's hiring us, you're going to be helping to hunt down some remnants that have been living in the subterranean parts of the Taken planets ever since the Alliance took them from the Collective. This does mean that once we arrive on location, you will all be assigned some of our heavier armaments. Armor-piercing rounds is the name of the game, and explosives. If there's anybody that doesn't feel they're up to this task, let us know immediately so we can have you reassigned to, I don't know, probably factory work or something. And some of the people are clearly nervous, but they're not backing down now. And she's like, lovely. No one's backing out for once. Good. You'll be deployed. The ship of deployment that we are going to be assigned to this time is the budgetary requirement. Everybody, please head over to Docking Bay 3 to get loaded into the shuttles.
Does that mean we're fighting cutters?
Cutters, maybe a few Dynasty, a little of both.
Can I have a rocket launcher?
You'll be assigned appropriate weapons once we enter the actual theater of combat, but yes, you will be getting rocket launchers.
Okay. I feel a lot better now.
Micro launchers, mind you, as we will be following them into their tunnels. And for those familiar with how their kind fight, which I assume is only one of you, looks over at Blast. Close range tunnel fighting is almost their expertise as a race. So, be prepared. And, well, congratulations. You're officially Doomco Security.
What are we securing?
Currently,
Security?
other people's property.
Okay.
Next time, maybe you'll be deployed into, who knows? You could end up in Federation space guarding against pirates next, for all I know. We get moved around a lot. At least until you've completed field training, which takes, 5 years on paper. Right. Go on, everybody move. And you are all loaded into a shuttle to get onto the budgetary requirement. Welcome back, Johnny.
Yep, I'm back.
So, following through with the themes of Doomco, the ship is... it's a little uncomfortable how white it is. It feels like if you do anything, you might stain the floor, and that's an uncomfortable feeling sometimes. You know? You know that moment where everything is so clean that you're just like, I don't really want to touch it. That's pretty much the ship.
Okay.
I'm gonna immediately start smoking.
There's a smoking area. And it is most of the ship. They have the communal areas they have non-smoking in just because, it's a communal area. Some people don't smoke. Anybody can wander in here, that type of shit. But honestly, they're not going to bother you in your quarters, which you are doubled up for quarters. Which reminds me,
Even Blast.
yes, actually, Silco, Siva, please roll me a luck test to see if you get doubled up with Blast.
Indeed. So, are we going under or higher here? What's the plan?
We're higher's bad.
Okay.
All right, I see an under for Johnny. Matt.
I'm gonna be over. Oh, yeah, you watch. Here we
Watch
go.
roll 1. Oh, 28.
Neither of you are assigned to Blast's quarters. Congratulations.
Bet he farts in his sleep, so I think that's a good sign.
I bet he chews on people in his sleep.
That's probably worse.
I'll beat you, Cutter. He's trying to chew out the bed the bed frame. I'll beat you.
Yeah.
Does he fight things in his sleep?
At least he chews on things in his sleep.
Or I can see him having a snuggle buddy. He just wraps his tail around you and pulls you close like snuggle.
So, Blast, you do end up with a roommate. It is the other medic. The robot guy.
Mm-hmm.
He just comes in, looks at you. Hello.
Nods.
I will be taking
Greeting.
the top bunk as you will crush it otherwise.
This is accepted.
Good, thank you. Thank you for your consideration. I don't feel like getting crushed tonight.
He's like, just move to the other side of the room if I begin to thrash.
These are ship bunks. We don't have anything on the other side of the room except the tables.
Then I would recommend stepping outside if I begin to thrash.
Thank you for the warning.
Memories of combat are trying.
We all have, in some form or another, memories we're trying to flee from, I think. Most people do in Doomgo. At least in the security department. I was given some psychological training in the medical wing for exactly that issue. Speaking of, if you ever want to talk about it, feel free to. And if you don't, then don't. It's your choice.
He just looks at him. I will not.
That is your choice. And I will respect it. So, you guys are on the budgetary requirement. It is actually nice. They've got a little, like the communal areas. They have a full gym. They've got an area for easy running. They actually have some rooms that are set up to simulate sunlight so you can feel like you're outside. There is a rec room that has like foosball, arcade games, stuff like that. It's fairly nice. This is This is a nice ship to be on. What? Just give me a general idea of what you guys do along the way. Do you just like exercise and train? Do you socialize with people? I'm not asking for details. Just a general idea of how you guys would normally keep yourselves busy on a long transit.
I'll explore the ship and then I'll network. I feel would be a good use of my time.
Oh, networking. So when you say networking, are you trying to like meet with what who are you? Are you trying to meet with like the officers? Are you trying to meet with management staff? Are you trying to meet with the salesmen? Because there are salespeople on this ship, and you are not the only things being transported here. There is an entire armament being transported for sale as well.
I will be going for the officers, and then the management, and then the sales.
All right, all right. Go ahead and give me a. Since this is going to be more of a calm setting, give me either a charm or just a general fellowship. Because if you don't have charm, I'm not gonna
Well, I do have charm,
do the negatives.
but it's just base. So here's the first
just
roll.
Yeah, just go ahead and give me. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Oh,
You start getting introduced around to people, and you start meeting people. You start actually getting introduced. You will find Lieutenant Zhao when she's actually like at the garden and not acting all official, for example, and she'll just be like, "Ah, you're Silco, wasn't it?"
that is correct, ma'am.
Hmm. Well, from what I understand, you did the right motions to end up in the mandatorial track. Congratulations.
I appreciate the thanks, ma'am.
The thanks. Whatever.
For
She's
noticing.
just like, oh yes. She's like, yes, well, I do try to keep track of anybody with ambition that ends up within my command structure. It's useful to know. It's useful to know who you can rely on for what, you see. You certainly want to be within management because there are openings within the military command structure as well. There's other options rather than just ending up as general management, which is respectable unto itself. I mean, but it does come with an annoying number of responsibilities. They expect so much from you.
Again, I appreciate the thought, between you and I'm glad you picked up on my desires. But I feel like I need to continue my path. And maybe I still need to find the pros for both.
The pros for being the military side of things is we don't have to be in constant meetings with lawyers and regulation meetings, and we aren't expected to run things off the battlefield. Downside is we are trusted with people's lives. But I figure you're a medical professional. You're used to that particular stress.
That is true. It's a heavy burden, but somebody's got to do it.
Yes, exactly. It's also thankless work half the time.
Another life, I knew that feeling, but now I need to figure myself out. Be more assertive as the Stars said.
Ah, you met with her, huh?
She was the one doing mandatorial training.
Oh, well, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I know her well enough. She's... At first, when you interact with her, you think, oh, well, she's lovely. She's so patient and calm. And, I mean, how does this make it difficult to end up as a manager with somebody like her running things? It's because behind the veil of civility and calmness, she's always calculating. She's always thinking. She treats she has no offense to her, but she has a tendency to treat people as almost machines, where she looks at them and judges them basically off their worth and their worth alone.
I'll take that into consideration.
I would, because if she decides that you aren't going to keep up with what she views as her standard, which is higher than most of the other trainers, she will just be rid of you immediately with no second chances.
He'll take that in. Yeah, that's not fun, but
Well, everybody that gets trained by her tends to end up in upper management. However, that's if you pass. Majority of her students don't.
I see.
They're kind, the cutters. They are very analytical like that. They don't really view people that are made of flesh, especially ones who aren't psionic, as proper people. I don't think it's their fault, though. It's really how they were made. Well, thus is the will of the Father, and thus it will be. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's a different thought process, and apologies. People get uncomfortable around talk like that sometimes.
No
It's a little
worries.
inconsiderate. It's a little inconsiderate of me. Part of why I didn't make it through her management training. Well, it's nice meeting you again, Silco, on a less official basis.
Of course. I hope to see you again soon.
Oh, yes. Oh, you certainly will. Actually, have you wandered your way over to Deck 3, and she'll actually start leading you off to go meet some people.
Ah, very kind of her.
Yes. Moving along. Blast, what do you do as your downtime?
Honestly, he'd probably just go and train, tend to his equipment.
So he's the let me pump metal and run track circles type of guy.
That and getting a feel for the equipment that he's expected to have given to him in this next mission, you know?
There is actually a firing range on the ship. It is not a horribly large one, but it is robust enough to be able to handle the general, what they would consider anti-cutter weapons. They are heavy caliber solid projectile weapons that are built to deal kinetic damage over anything else because, well, energy damage doesn't do anything to them.
Mm-hmm. He's just, going to take what what training ammo he can and get a feel for this thing.
Yeah, all right. That one is fairly straightforward, so I don't have much in the way of interactions with that in mind. That said, roll me a luck test to see if there's anybody interesting on the training fields with you.
Nice.
Okay. So, let me find this picture. As you're, on the range, putting rounds down there, you do find yourself next to the team sharpshooter. As I get her picture. There we are. So I guess got her token on the map. This lady here. You find yourself next to the team sharpshooter as you are putting rounds down range, and she's just doing her own thing too. And she'll nod to you as you're working. As you guys are like between volleys when they're exchanging targets. She's like, "You're a pretty decent shot."
I'm sorry, my headset is dying. I just got it plugged in.
Oh, you're next to the team sharpshooter. She was on the range as well. And after, like, while they're exchanging targets from you guys, she just kind of looks over and is like, "You're a pretty decent shot, you know that?"
Sometimes I'm still getting the hang of these solid projectiles.
Didn't use them a lot.
He just pats his fucking laser cannon. This is the only weapon I had.
Oh. I mean, it's nice and all, but she kind of shrugs. I would, I prefer a little bit more.
Precision?
Yeah. I was gonna more phrase it as I would prefer it if my gun didn't melt bulkheads myself.
He just chuckles. He's like,
I mean, like, yeah, sure, in decompression you'll survive if you have the environmental suit for air and all that. But what if you get sucked out the hole?
then you kick off the bodies of the slain and return to the vessel. I have done this. It is not fun. But this, due to the acquisition of this weapon, I was generally fighting Dynasty. So,
Ah, yeah, and they are big boys.
yes.
Yeah, I fought them before. I mean, not. eh, we got a raid from one of the smaller clans a while back on my home world.
He shrugs. You survived. This is good.
Yeah, no, I lived. A lot of other people didn't, but I did. Kind of decided I needed to get off world after that, you know. Why are you here? If you don't mind me asking.
He just shrugs. Varying training. Better is. Varying my training is better than repeating the same thing over and over.
Okay. I'm here because, like, after the raid, I needed to make money somehow. And, the planet was kind of fucked up and not a lot of jobs.
He's like, money is good, but my people are prone to eagerly jumping into any fight, and thus losses are high. And so I decided to try and find another path, and this is where I ended up.
Well, I mean, as long as you're careful, from what I understand, Doomco losses are fairly small. Good equipment.
Pats the autocannon, I have noticed.
Which, by the way, all of the I do have like the assault rifle information. They use Alliance Standard for their equipment because, well, they produce Alliance Standard.
Mm-hmm.
They're the main manufacturers for it. I forgot
So-
to write it down on the rifles, but all of them do have reliable.
Is that including the rotary cannon?
Yes.
He's
It
like,
just means that it doesn't,
okay.
like, remember, that just means it doesn't jam on anything other than
Mhm.
like 100. But
Yep.
I just realized I never wrote that down, and that's an important detail of the weapons.
Yep. He's just like, heavy weapons training is more enjoyable than walk that way and don't stop holding the trigger down.
Yeah. Yeah. You know the Federation fights like that?
Really?
Throwing.
That
Yeah.
that seems idiotic considering, no offense, you're kind of squishy.
They say that. What is it? The fire of the burning god will protect you from the meaningless death of a heretic or something like that. I don't remember. I'm not actually from there.
And yet I
Hey, they both.
can't. And he's like, and yet I can't use my thermal lance on them.
Well, I mean, that's kind of inhumane.
Like, I'm not human.
That's not what inhumane means.
That's news to me.
Inhumane just.
Next you're gonna tell me I can't eat them.
No? No, you can't eat them.
Then how am I to steal their strength?
Steal their guns?
That is equipment that can be crafted.
Yeah, but what other strength
The
do you think a
knowledge,
human
training,
has?
and potency of the enemy can be gained through consumption of them.
You might want to read through the Doomco employee handbook again, because the consumption of fallen enemies and allies is strictly prohibited.
I'm going to have to see about getting a racial exemption.
Oh, there's lots of people that's tried that. You're not going to get anywhere. If the Dynasty can't pull it off, I don't think you're going to be able to.
Doesn't mean I won't try.
I mean, they're not going to stop you from trying. From what I understand, they won't even blame you for trying. I don't blame people for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they blame them for their own fuck-ups, but that seems about it.
I think that's a good thing.
I do not disagree, but
yeah, no, you can't eat people.
I will find a way. But you should teach me some of your tricks, and I will teach you some of mine, if I have any you do not already know.
Oh, I don't know much about heavy weapons, but a lot of my work's about breathing and patience. Lots of patience.
Most of my training came in the form of consumption. How to consume various things. Like electricity and fire.
Huh. Did they have you lick batteries?
He's like, that's a snack.
Right. I mean, it's
Okay,
definitely not,
so-
but okay.
No, you okay,
I'll lick your battery.
you don't know much about my species then. That is
I know
understandable.
absolutely nothing about your species.
So a very small margin, maybe 0.1%, have developed a similar ability to the cutters, where we can consume various forms of energy.
Oh. Interesting.
It is a part of our diet. Like with me, I can consume either electricity, which can equate, or electricity and heat, which can equate to lasers, tasers, batteries.
By the way, to loop, because I'm kind of stuck on the eating people thing a little bit. To loop back on that real quick, if I die, do not eat me.
It's like, you do not eat comrades. You burn them in a pyre of respect.
Not my tradition in my family, but we do have a funeral, so you know, you could always attend that out of respect.
If able, I will return your body.
I appreciate that, and I will make sure your body's immolated.
This is good.
Right. Okay, you know what? Here, let's shooting things. Let's shoot things, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Here, I'll teach you some breathing stuff, and you're not going to get anything out of it now, but in time, you will be able to get like special weapon training snipers or stuff like that.
He will begin teaching her basically the proper bracing techniques for smaller frames to use higher caliber weaponry.
Which is very important when you're literally a quarter the size of the person you're talking to.
Yep.
All right, so Matt,
Yeah.
what's Siva do? Or Siva? How do you pronounce your character's name again?
Siva.
Siva. What does Siva do for her? How does she pass her time? We have one person clearly mildly disturbing your fellow teammates with his eating habits. We have one person being social as hell.
I'm gonna stow everything first. I'm going to go to whoever's in charge of the squad and kind of figure out what my kit's gonna be, and then I'm going to go to the workshop and I'm going to customize my armor set to be better at holding my kit and improving the armor overall. So,
All right, so you're actually going to be sitting down and trying to like improve your equipment.
mm-hmm.
Did you already purchase anything powers wise to do that? I'm just like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just trying to see what tools you have already available to you.
Well, I was 10 merit short from getting my forge, so I was just going to go to the workshop on the ship.
Oh, you were you were short?
Yeah, you said I needed 10 merit to get the actual forge.
Well, I told you it was a tier 2 talent.
Right, it's 10 merit. We haven't
Oh,
had
yes.
we don't have any extra. I still need 10.
Honestly, because you were supposed to start with it. Like if you had said something, I would have let you start with a merit debt.
We can do that. It's fine.
That way you can have your forge.
I'll be at a 10 cost merit debt. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my gear early, and I'm just gonna customize it.
Most like your actual armor, they're not changing. You're still going to be assigned the like the standard armor, because they don't want you trying to go toe to toe with the cutters. They want you to, be more mobile than
Well,
them.
that's what I'm saying. Like that, I'm going to be humping a lot of gear. So what
Yeah.
I'm doing is I'm actually customizing the holding spaces, the bags, the compartment,
Yeah.
backpack.
So what that's going to end up doing for you for that general customization, it'll basically make it so you get you'll make it so that like if you stow or unstow equipment, it'll be a half action instead of a full action.
hmm
Um, as for actually improving the armor rating and stuff itself, I will need an armorer roll from you.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the quartermaster if he has anything special, especially for the breastplate.
What do you mean special?
Better, just piece of metal. Better chunk for the breastplate. The arms and legs, they can have. I'll just work on the actual configuration of the plating, but I'm talking like
Roll me
dead
a luck
center.
test.
All right. No. Wow, blast! You took my
Yeah, you do
Uh,
not have any. He doesn't have any specialty. Like he's like, if you really want to get a more specialty breastplate, I mean, you could head down to the salesman and see if they're willing to sell you something.
Okay. Cool.
He's like, I only handle the onboard armory. I don't handle whatever we have in stock for sale. He's like, I don't know how much it'll cost you, but generally speaking, the salesmen have some pretty esoteric stuff. So
Yeah, for me. I'm gonna be humping a lot of gear.
he's
I
like, no, I like
uh
the webbing modifications you did. That's pretty decent.
do you got anything for power assisted legs with a back support?
He's like, what, like an exosuit?
Yeah. I
That's
gotta hump
only
with
for specialty assignment equipment, though. You'd have to talk to your lieutenant about trying to actually get a hold of that.
because I was gonna, as the team's engineer, I've probably got, besides the heavy weapons guy, the most gear to carry.
He's like, I understand that, but assigning equipment like that has to go through your commanding officer.
Okay. Well, thanks for kind of pointing me in the right direction.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh, I'll go find my commanding officer.
That would be Lieutenant Zhao.
Oh,
And you'll find her. Uh, yeah, actually, when you find her, you'll find Silco's with her. And they are talking to some of the other, like they're having a conversation with some of the managerial staff, and
hmm.
it is a casual conversation by the sounds of it. It's not like they're talking business or anything.
Okay. Well, I'll wait and listen a little bit, and if they don't acknowledge me and kind of bring me in I'll just say I'll come back at another time because that's
Well,
what you do.
after a bit of you like kind of hovering in the corner, like I don't know if I want to interrupt this, and like you'll kind of catch the eye of Zhao, and she'll just be like, Engineer Siva, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
What can I do for you?
Um, I was gonna ask you for a special release of a specific equipment type.
1 second. She'll basically excuse herself from the conversation, move over to where she can actually give you her full attention. She's like, all right, what are you after?
I'd like permission for a exo frame.
For what purpose?
Um, mobility, ease of hauling equipment, and um, well, just being able to move a lot of equipment and dodge without having to be encumbered. I'm probably going to be carrying the most amount of gear, and in case somebody also needs to be pulled back to safety um, and brought to the medic while the medic's busy, as a main support staff member, it's also my job to help others who are also in peril and need to be pulled to safety. And while doing that with a ton of gear can, well, cause more problems. So if I have an exoframe, that wouldn't be a problem, and I can incorporate that with my special skills.
Yes, special skills.
Mm.
I know you kept them off the official records, but I am more aware of them than most people might be. And she'll actually hold up a hand, and fire will dance along her fingers for a second before she lets it fade away.
I'll hold out a cigarette for her.
Oh, she'll light it for you.
No, it's for
She'll-
her.
Oh, no, she'll wave it off. She's like, I don't actually smoke. I know most of us do, but I don't.
I like the different flavors.
I'm
But
like, oh, I don't blame anybody else for doing it.
Mm.
Each their own. I've been more of a strong drink girl myself.
I was thinking about going down that path, but smokes are lighter, and I can get a lot more out of them.
That's also a habit formed by dependent upon your specialty, shall we say. Those of Earth tend to lean more towards cigarettes and cigars, whereas those of us who have more fire in our blood, shall we say, we tend to head to more alcohols, drinks, things
Fuel
that...
for the engine.
Exactly.
I'm a little bit of both. Actually,
Oh,
both.
yes. You're a smith.
Yep. I plan on taking care of everyone's equipment.
That's also why I know for a fact that you have, at least, unless if you have a mentor, which I understand you do.
Yeah.
Right. With a smith teaching you, I know you have a personal smithy, one of the soul forges.
Only apprentice or prospects or the master himself or any students under him can enter.
I understand that, but you can bring equipment there as well.
Yes, ma'am. And I will be doing, well, whatever work is necessary in my downtime.
I was more wondering why you're not going to keep your tools there.
Oh, I am.
Then you're not going to be having too much of a problem with equipment hauls, since that doesn't really bear weight directly to you.
Well, it's more of a principle type of thing. It's the Master's Forge. I'm being given permission to use
No,
it.
that one is yours.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm able to actually just throw stuff in there and pull it out at a whim. Is it a dimensional bag at any time?
There is a weight limit. Did you pick a casting stat? Because it's based off of that.
Willpower was my casting stat.
That's what I thought. So, it is going to be. Actually, I think I wrote it down for you once already. Yeah, your stat bonus times 1,000, so you have an incredible amount of weight you can throw in there.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say 1,000? Because that should be 100.
You just said 1,000, but it can be 100, yeah. So
My brain just processed
3,000.
that sentence.
It's the difference between 3,000 and 30,000 pounds, or no, 40.
Well, it's your stat bonus, and it's I'm going to do it by 100.
56. Okay, I have a lot of willpower.
Yeah, so if you got a 56, that means you can have 500 pounds of crap in there, which is still an incredible amount of crap.
Yeah, I'll be like, 500 pounds is not a lot.
And she's like, 500 pounds is more than your entire equipment load, including your armor.
That also includes whatever previous projects and other equipment and or the tools and the supplies.
To balance out, not me.
Right. That's why I'm asking for an exoframe so I can carry more. But in recompense, I'll also be working on everyone else's equipment in the squad and yours if you would like that as well.
Tell you what, I will allow it if you can impress me. How about that?
I'll do my damnedest.
And by impress me, I mean make a sword for me. Show me what your skill is. I understand you're an apprentice, so I'm not expecting the world of you.
Okay. Do you have any particular designs in mind?
She's like, she'll show you her current one. If you look, it's a Chinese style like straight blade. She's
I'll
like,
have her set it on a table, and I'll actually take out my data pad and start taking pictures.
yeah, she's like, this is my current weapon. I'm not expecting you to make something better than it, just something that is good. And this is my preference. Straight blades that are light, easy to move, highly maneuverable. If you do that and you impress me, I'll get you your exosuit. Otherwise, you will be assigned the standard equipment loadout and equipment holsters as a normal combat engineer.
What about a pairing blade?
A what blade? A paring blade?
A pairing blade. It's basically a second hand.
No, I'm aware. And she's like, I could do with paring blade. I haven't found one I like yet.
Okay.
My combat style typically carries one as well.
We'll go down to the managerial sales staff and see what they got for sale.
Well, it's just sales staff.
Yeah, let's do the sales staff, see what they got.
Yeah. When you go down to the sales, like into the sales floor, they've got. So right now it's all set up for storage, so shit's strapped down and the like. But there's actual tanks in there. They didn't fuck around. There's vehicles in there, tanks, armor, heavy weapons. And when you kind of enter a salesman that was kind of there seems to always be somebody like on duty on the deck, kind of.
Mhm.
And
Great,
the salesman currently on duty will
point
kind
man,
of
right?
perk up. Basically. The salesman on duty currently just kind of perks up a bit and is like, "Oh, hello. You're part of the new security staff, aren't you?"
Yes, sir. Pleasure to meet you.
Right.
I'm Siva.
Ah, yes, Marcus. And he'll shake your hand enthusiastically. Ha! Siva. Well, hello, Siva. What can we at sales do for you today?
I've been put to task by my commanding officer to impress them. They want me
Oh.
to use my talents to make them a blade. Now,
Hmm.
Doomco has some of the best stock in the known space, and I was hoping you could point me in a direction.
Are you after mineral, like actual metal, or are you actually trying to purchase the weapon?
Or
Or
I'm gonna make
that
it from scratch.
is a
Should be.
little bit more difficult. We sell finished products, after all.
Or
Hmm.
bars, metal bars.
Once again, we sell finished products, not raw materials.
I thought Doomco had
We have a little of a lot of things, but we don't usually sell the components. What with wanting customers to buy from our manufacturing and forges.
Maybe buy the cheap shit and then work off that.
That
technically-
said, I do have a little workaround for you. We do keep within our capabilities the availability to access certain stocks via a partner of ours. I don't know if you're familiar with Star Strider Industries. No, maybe, probably not.
Maybe.
They're primarily a mining company.
Hmm.
One that we get the majority of our minerals from, in fact. It is possible for us to make arrangements to get a hold of some minerals at our next stop. It won't be something we can get in route, but Starstrider can provide, well, basically anything you could want. There's a reason we use them for our own supply for the forges.
What about tungsten?
Starstrider can provide anything.
Mm.
It's their specialty. They're minerals.
Alright.
It won't be until the next refueling stop that we can arrange that. Well, if there's a ship available, anyway. We'll have to see what we can get a hold of. If you like, I can help broker that for you. I won't take a cut, as you are an employee, but I can at least make the proper introductions and see who's available.
I appreciate that. That'd be kind.
Well, you are our security staff, and our lives are in your hands. I'm more than happy to help with what I can help with, anyway.
Right.
The other option you would have is to purchase one of our pieces of equipment and rework the metal into your own preferences. That's more expensive than just getting the minerals, however, and I wouldn't heavily recommend it in comparison to just getting raw material.
I'll probably go with the raw material route. In the meantime, I was wondering if you happen to have any breastplates.
Of course, plenty. What particular style are you looking for? As he'll start directing you towards an area where they have breastplates, shields, full suits of armor. Some of them look very medieval. Some of them look very modern.
It's basically just a replacement for my current one.
He's like,
For my standard kit.
You want something a little bit more oomph.
A little bit more stopping power here.
Well, right over here, right over here. What kind of budget do we want to try and stay in? Which at this point, you guys have gotten about 2 months' pay, which, if I remember right, I said is 500 energy credits. Which, okay, while I'm thinking about it real quick, there is money for individual countries where it's like Alliance dollar bills, Federation, I forget what I was going to do for the Federation. Anyway, the individual countries do have their own cash. Energy credit is the universal one that you can get that is run by a large central bank. It's worth more than an individual country's because the other countries have their money pinned to it. They kind of use it. Yeah.
Well, I bet you have some broken stock that you just can't sell at the moment. What
He
about?
immediately goes, "No, I don't. This is a new shipment. We haven't gotten any of the battle damaged equipment in yet. Once we get to our first stop, we will have damaged equipment that can get exchanged out like that."
Well, how about that'll also be help with the pricing, because I don't know how much they're going to charge for what I'm looking for. And
You do get a discount. Are you at you get an employee discount? So are you just after heavy armor then?
yeah, just a heavy armor breastplate.
So if you want the heavy armor, that's an armor rating of 10. That one actually will have a built-in exo if you get the full suit. However, that is 3,000 credits. You do get a discount of 30%, so let me go do the math on that.
Just the breastplate's 3,000?
Yes.
It should be 2,000 total. If it's no, that's 33 for 3%.
Well, that's why I've just got.
I have 500 energy credits. That's absurd. 500?
Oh no, that's for the full armor. Sorry.
Oh, I just want the breastplate. I don't need the full armor.
Sorry, I'm doing. You asked me that as I'm doing the math. So it's 2,100 with your employee discount for the full suit. You can take out a loan if you wanted to try and grab the full suit. It will come out of your pay on the regular. It does have it has a fair pricing for interest and stuff, especially since you're an employee. There's not going to be any of this. You're paying off the company store forever type shit.
Yeah, I got that.
But if you wanted the full suit, you can go that route. The breastplate alone, breastplate alone is about 1,000, which with your discount is 700. So even that's extremely pricey.
I'm gonna kind of look at it and be like, so overall, breastplate is worth a third of the entirety of the suit.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's where the majority of the protective metals go, which is the most expensive part other than the actual, exoskeleton. Because it does have an exoskeleton built into it.
I almost want to buy a broken one at the next station. Work from there.
And he's like, that's always possible. We don't have it in stock currently, but that's because we haven't made the first stop yet. Every time we come to a stop, we're going to get a certain amount of equipment back in that is for repair or reconstitution.
Well, when that happens, I'll stop by and see if I can.
I'll
work up some-
notify you as soon as we get what you're looking for. How about that? That way you don't have to come down and waste your time if we don't have what you're looking for.
Well, I was offering part-time work to fix things. It's kind of part of my profession.
You're marked, are you a combat engineer, armorer, both?
Both.
You're going to be told to work on it regardless.
Okay, whatever. Works
Yeah,
fine.
Dinko doesn't like to leave staff idle.
Do I
Not
get paid more for that?
for doing your job?
Well, considering what the average soldier does
Eh,
and the amount of
uh,
customized, specialized services that I have to do in my downtime, I think.
actually, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you that you're supposed to get a higher pay as an engineer, did I?
And as a forge, because if they're gonna use
No. You're getting paid an extra 100, but that's it. You aren't the only armorer on the base and on the
True.
ship, and you can go on about your specialty as much as you like. You're not the only one with the armorer specialty,
Right.
but they are going to give you an extra 100 a month that way,
Hmm.
since you're specifically as an armorer. If you were just a combat engineer, then the pay wouldn't change much beyond if you getting a bonus for danger pay for if you have to disarm explosives.
We'll come back to it then, just so we can move on. So
But yeah,
way too expensive. What we're gonna
it's
do is we're gonna wait till the next station.
yeah, and like I said, otherwise you can take out a loan. They keep a interest very very low, but that's about your options.
I'll see if I can improve the current armor rating, even by 1 tick. So
Also, they do not haggle, just as a warning.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
No.
So not with a -4.
Eh.
So to move things along, okay, time to get meat and potatoes, boys. As you guys are moving along, you're going about your days, meeting people, talking, practicing with weapons, really wishing you had an exoskeleton, apparently.
Mm.
There is so the way space travel works in this, it's basically jump points where, depending on the gravitational fields of a star system, that's where you can enter it, basically. Makes it so that it's pretty predictable where you can and can't come into a system, but it's just the fact of life for them. It's all about gravitational points. As you guys are finishing a jump, which honestly is not a big deal to you, like you can move around the cabins, they're all pretty smooth. It's not a big deal to do these jumps. you do get a alarm to general quarters, where you're supposed to basically go grab your equipment and be prepared to repel boarders or do what have you, though it is not stated as to why. It is just a general quarters alert. And you guys are sent to go grab equipment, get yourselves armed and armored. You get to your station, and you're told to wait, to hold, to stay there for now. After a bit of time has passed, a couple hours, the lieutenant arrives. There are a couple sergeants within the group that kind of got you into position. And when she arrives, she has a brief discussion with them before addressing the group as a whole. And she's just, all right. So, as we entered into the system, this is not a scheduled stop, as you probably got the impression at this point. As we entered into the system, we found ourselves with an emergency alert. It seems that somebody has gotten themselves on the wrong side of some pirates. Now, as per maritime law, we do have to respond to emergency signals, and the budgetary requirement and her escorts have already shooed off the offending ship, so no worries about that. But we've made contact with the station in question that sent out the alert, the emergency request, and apparently they have some pirates aboard station. We are going to go handle that. Shoo them off. Get rid of them. Most particular, well, no, not shoo them off. So, as per maritime law and agreements made between Doomco, the various militaries of the galaxy, and a great many other things, primarily maritime law, we are required to handle pirates directly. If they resist too heavily, you will be authorized to use lethal force. However, we are going to be attempting to get them to surrender alive, as they would much prefer that they have a excuse me. They would much rather we arrest people and they have a trial than summary execution. So, normally we would just deploy the more veteran troops on ship to go handle this. I have volunteered all of you. I thought, if we were supposed to be coming in to train you as to enter into your field training, this is a prime opportunity to get you some real life experience before, long before we get anywhere else. I'm sure you'll all agree that it is a lovely opportunity that you're all excited for.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a nod for Silka.
Nods.
Wonderful. So, load up. We're going to go deal with some pirates. And this is where I'm going to be grabbing tokens and moving them on to a map.
So I saw the Rotary Cannon. I didn't see
stats for armor or assault rifles?
Yes,
they
assault rifles are on
equipment?
the equipment work in progress sheet.
Okay, perfect.
You'll see you're going to be doing the Alliance standard. You'll be using Alliance military armor. It has a +10 to strength, +10 to agility. You can request a scout armor if you want something lighter, but they don't do heavier unless you have a reason, effectively.
Sounds good to me.
The weapon is on there as well. You'll be using the standard Alliance assault rifle.
Perfect.
I'm making sure you guys actually have the ability to see shit, and you don't, so I need to fix that. Vision. You see, I forgot to assign the tokens, and then I come to realize I forgot to also actually make it so you can fucking see shit.
We
This one will be on daylight mode. So give me un momento. I'll make sure everybody's shit is right.
You know what you don't have in your weapon, though? Ammo. How much the clip is?
Oh, did I not put the... Sorry. So
okay.
for the standard assault rifle, it is a 30-round clip.
Okay.
How about for my rotary cannon?
You've got a backpack with 500 rounds.
Nice.
Gotcha.
I was just curious. I was looking at a rate of fire, and I was like, "Oh, that would be nice." And then I look, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is very quick to dump your whole clip if you dump your whole clip.
Exactly.
That is not a mistake. It's an unfortunate fact of life, but automatic weapons, if you actually dump your clip, dump it like nobody's business. Like most automatic weapons will clear their entire clip in like 2 seconds if you actually use them on full auto.
Last question. What's the reload?
1 full turn.
Yeah. Full action.
So, you guys are effectively going to be split up into 2 groups. There's going to be a heavy weapons person and a mechanic for each of the fire teams. There's going to be a medic for each one. And then, Siva, you are actually going to be following around the lieutenant.
okay.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of going to be the free floater, as it were.
Cool.
And do.
Can I requisition smoke and stun grenades? Because if we're gonna take them alive, you know, it'd be really nice. Some taser rounds and some.
Oh, they don't care if you take them alive if they comes to shooting, but they will give you smoke grenades and flashbang.
Okay.
So smoke grenades will just obscure vision and create a difficult. Basically, if they're in the middle of it, then they have to fight blind.
Yeah.
If they aren't in the middle of it, or if you are on one side of it or the other, it's a -30 to hit whatever's on the other side, unless you have thermal vision. If you have thermal, then you can see through that. They do have thermal smoke available as well if you want to grab that, but they'll only assign you... Basically, they'll give you 2 smoke grenades and 1 thermal. As for the flashbangs, that will be a minus 20 toughness test unless you have heightened senses, and then it's a minus 40.
Yeah.
And if you get caught in it, you won't be able to see or hear for the degrees of failure turns. And all actions will be taken with appropriate negatives for that. I'll probably need to write that down. For now, just for reasons of getting things rolling because of time limits, I'm going to be moving you guys onto the landing zone.
Wee.
All right. Please, while we have a second, make sure you can see. And
So
please
far,
try
so
moving
good.
your tokens to make sure things are functioning correctly.
This is a fun map.
Yeah. This one's we won't spend too much time here, but Blast, if you could please make sure your token is movable and that you can see. Confirm for me.
I can see. I can move.
Nice.
Thank you. Good. I wanted to make sure before we continued because, well, I'm going to be using these tokens across the other maps, and I would very much rather not have...
Yeah, save and update token.
Yeah, that way, if they're all working, it is a lot easier for me just to move things. As I'm making sure I have what I know are functional tokens on my token map. Why did Blast? Cool, your token... When I just copy-paste all the tokens, yours did not come with it. That's real helpful. Okay, you guys arrive at this station, and as you guys are effectively boots down on this, there's no opposition on the landing. Nobody tries to stop you. And as you guys are kind of, deployed, getting set up, Lieutenant is actually going to have her finger to her ear as she's listening to something. Mr. Technomancer.
Oh, I have a designation now.
You are able to listen in on communications like that if you want to be a sneaky boy. This is mainly
Sneaky
because
boy.
you do
Yeah.
have the encryption codes as you are a member of the squad. But you also know, technically speaking, you're not supposed to listen in.
He's going to listen in. So do you need security from that?
Yeah, give me a basic security roll. I just realized I arranged this slightly wrong. Because Silco, you're supposed to be on Blast's team for reasons of keeping players together.
I figured as
For the
much.
most part. You find yourself quickly caught, effectively, as... Actually... Hey, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
As the combat engineer, you're also the one that they refer to for handling, communications if you have a software breach or anything.
Yeah.
And there is definitely a software breach coming from Silco. He's definitely listening in on the boss's chatter when he's not supposed to.
I'll go over and
It
elbow
is,
him in the ribs really hard.
it is the automated system that informs you of this, too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of nonchalantly go over and give him a really hard elbow.
Ow!
Silco.
And then to cover it up, I'll just sling the same arm around his shoulder, kind of
You all right?
Yeah, where I come from, where I was, kind of migrated to after my kid years, I ended up in a Leona neighborhood. And let me tell you, privacy is a very difficult thing for individuals with such keen ears. But when privacy is necessary, it's very, very respected. And they're a very hierarchical, uh, people. So, when we joined our new employers here, I happen to know some similarities, especially in the hierarchy. And usually, when one of the cubs is caught snooping, they get their ears boxed. If it's not a cub and it's an adult caught eavesdropping, it's a lot worse. And they usually make an example out of someone like that. And you're not a cub. So
Still getting.
keep your nose out of it. Because it won't be an ear boxing. Well, consider it this is me boxing your ears on this one. Because if somebody else catches you do it, or if I catch you do it again, I am going to bring this up. And there will be some consequences. But for this time, just let's not do that yet.
So cool, not.
Cool.
And there seems to be some slightly tense conversations happening behind you with your with the non-frontline people.
He's just going to look back, give the growl of the fuck, while continuing to keep an eye out, waiting for orders.
At the moment, your orders are basically watch the entrance, make sure nobody comes out to shoot us.
Yeah.
With that little byplay aside, as you are having that little conversation, growl at them for being, what the fuck are you doing back there? The lieutenant will lower her finger from her ear and be like, all right, Team 2, you're going to be taking point. We're going to see if our large friend is as solid in the face as he claims to be. Blast, that means you take point. Move.
Yep. Sorry, I'm still having problems with my headset, guys.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, he's just going to start moving up towards the door.
Yep. So this was more of a transitional map before I put you on one where you guys are properly going to be moving on, so don't worry too much about that. Because now we're going to be putting you onto the actual map, which we're probably going to be... So I'm going to get you on the map, I'm going to get you introduced to the situation, and we're actually going to be leaving off on a cliffhanger there because of time restraints for players. Just so you guys know what's happening on that, why I'm going to be cutting it there. It is strictly for time restraint reasons. I apologize, but it means you get to start off on a cliffhanger next session. As I bring you to here. Which... shit. Hold on. There you go. You should be on... You should be on token layer now. Let me get Matt on there too. There we go. And you guys find yourself in some very tight corridors. The other team will be following in behind you. But Blast, you've been put face first on things because you are the big boy. So, please, now we are on a map where I expect people to start moving.
as I find myself. There I am.
Bottom of the map. Here, I will center everybody. Oof. This might be a little bit chunky because it did not like if you zoom out, it might be a little chunky because it did not like the size of the map I picked. But Blast, you're told to advance.
You want to go for 200 here, or just want to continue doing it narrative wise?
No, I'm actually having him move his ass down.
Yep, I'm just checking my move speed. He is with agility 40, a half move is 4, full move is 8, so +1 from size, so 10.
Keep in mind you have smaller people following behind you really close, so you don't want to get too far ahead of them.
Yep. He's just moving up to the next doorway. You know,
And the rest of the
moving
team
up,
will move
keeping an
with
eye
it.
out.
As you guys are moving down, do roll me an awareness test.
I will ask
Oop, I
if
did not mean to
it
grab
might be
myself up. Oh well.
if it might be
Move me
feasible
up with
for
me.
us to get maybe 5 to 10 feet of visibility behind us, just so we can tell if somebody's right on our ass.
We look back.
I am going to not do that because people can sneak up on you.
Fair enough.
And
Take your
you
6.
might not know about that until, they're stabbing you in the kidney. However, the same is true of enemies, by the way.
Can I use heightened senses hearing here? Thank you.
Yes, it will.
Nope. Rolling 90s.
I mean, yeah. Let me do a couple general rolls for the other troops. Nobody's rolling horribly well. One person in the front squad will be like, I think I hear something up ahead. Get to the next door. Because this right here is a door. It is currently sealed. And as you arrive up there, it is properly sealed, and the lieutenant's going to be like, all right, Siva, go earn your pay. Crack it.
Yes, ma'am.
So please move yourselves up. Okay, Mr. Blast. Maybe leave some room for your engineer.
He
Fair.
doesn't. He's okay.
He doesn't care. He's like, oh, what's that? The engineer want something?
First things first, I'm gonna check. Is it locked?
Yes. That is a good first check, thank you.
You never know. I'm gonna blow it. Boop. The door opens.
She's not asking you to blow it. She's asking you to get it open. How you do that is maybe try a less explosive entrance first.
I know. That was the joke.
This space station, side note, is built into the side of an asteroid. You're not quite sure how big it is because of that.
Right. Okay. So, first things first. Are there signs of sabotage?
Roll me a tech use.
Man, I really.
Not that you can tell.
I really gotta get my int up. Everything's based off my int. Which is crazy.
So, just so you know, for how I am handling this, I am, for this part of it, not going to be having the fate points reset if you use them. You are starting with them, but if you use them in this first segment, it will not be resetting for next week, because it is the same scene that we're walking into.
Yep.
I want you to know that ahead of time.
Besides sabotage, any sign of tampering and or booby traps?
Go ahead and roll me that demolitions that you just got. See if there's anything unusual on that front.
I am doing really well in your
Not that you
game,
can tell.
Liam.
Not that you can tell.
I'm gonna have Blast double check it. Hey, Blast, get that techies right.
Yeah.
Double check with your eyeballs, Holmes. I'm gonna have him, who's the tech guy, because I know he was in the tech classes.
The other tech guy.
Yeah, it's to kind of get a second opinion.
Question
Roll
for
me
you.
tech boost. Other than being locked, which you don't have the training to crack, it looks normal.
Like,
Okay.
I see nothing other than the lock.
Then I will see if the panel can be removed and see if there is a bypass. But I'll remove the panel slowly in case something catches, like for a pull pin or something.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good concern, but it does open smoothly.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me a security for bypassing this shit.
That would be nice.
Question: Is there are these lights beside us?
Yes, that is why this entire area is lit.
Okay. Is it possible to use technomancy here to interface with the electrical system?
It is, but to what end are we attempting to do so?
I just want to see what it's connected to, kind of deal.
So, going through the lights for that, they do not have a particularly robust connection to the rest of the systems.
Mhm.
You can tell that there is an incredible amount of power draw, though.
Right.
Roll me a logic test.
I do have that.
Based off of what you're seeing, you are actually already starting to wonder what this station's actually for, because that is a lot heavier power draw than what should just be pulled off of an asteroid station.
All right.
You're no electrical engineer, so you couldn't say more than that. But you know just enough to know that that's a lot more power than is needed to run your normal station. Matt,
It's just not my night, man. Been rolling.
well, hold on, because this isn't the door doesn't open. Because the door, you do unlock it. The door opens when you unlock it, though. So you don't get the opportunity to back up and have the big guy open it. You get to be in the front. That's all.
Oh.
And as it
I was
opens,
gonna ask, do I have tools that help me with security or give a bonus? Or
yeah, you should have plus 10.
no.
That brings you. Oh, that's still just underneath.
No. Well, that's my fate. I will leave it as the dice have told me, and
As door opens, you're like still at the panel. Look over, and you're like, "Oh, that's the open that was the open wire. That was the access wire, not just the unlock wire." As several people with large weapons are standing there. Wow, those weapons are. You're used to seeing weapons like that. But somehow they seem larger when they're pointed at you.
I'm just gonna go. This is your opportunity, sir, to surrender.
And just immediately you hear from behind the big guy a woman's voice go, "I think that we have you in a bit of a kill box at the moment, so how about we talk about it instead?
This is the point
I'm gonna
where
take a good
This
long
is-
moments to pull out my cigarettes, take one out, and just kind of light it. Just take a big draw, like I'm all ears.
This is the point where we are going into our cliffhanger, actually.
damn.
Yes. So we're going to be pausing there because that's just how it is.
Fair.
Come on, we can't play for another 4 hours of combat and
Oh,
intrigue.
certainly aren't going to go like the best we can do is if Johnny had an extra half hour, because that's where I'm drawing the limits. But I'm respecting Johnny's time and saying no.
Oh,
Hey guys,
man.
we got 3 hours in. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's about what I was promising our sessions were going to be. So
Thank you for the session, Liam.
yes,
It was awesome.
I am giving you guys 5 merit for all this.
Okay.
Cool. Maybe. Yeah.
Most of your rewards for this session were the stuff that you got for free, so you can't complain.
No,
too much.
100%. Yeah,
Yep. Well, I'm gonna take off, guys.
Yes.
Get some sleep for work tomorrow.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you for playing. I will
It
look
was
forward
awesome.
to next week when we will be welcome to the first proper mission.
Mhm.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Yep, see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Peace out.